So we've been able to talk about a lot of things. Yeah, we spoke about a lot of things, and today we'll just make sure we conclude, and then we get to do this design of this real estate flyer. I think I did this like 2 years ago. I think this is around 2 or 3 years ago. You know. So let's just get into what we have for today. So we're able to work with images. I'm sure you tried cutting out images and it gave you some problems. Yes, it's normal. The idea is with time you get to master it. So it's good you keep practicing, right? The more you practice, the more you are better. So it's funny if a video is 1 hour and you watch it and practice for just 1 hour. It's really funny. You can't actually get it that way. So it's good you practice over and over again. So let me just use this space. So this is for a design I was supposed to do. So the first thing we are going to be working more on our layers. Let me get my guide. Where's my guide? Okay, good. So we're going to be talking about something that is called a layer max. Right. So I believe we have a lot of CorelDRAW users here, and it's something that they should be very familiar with. There's a tool in CorelDRAW that is called transparency tool. And in that transparency tool, you have two shades. The first shade is the black and the other shade is the white. So the way the transparency tool works is the black part is actually what removes the background or tries to bring about the transparency, while the white reveals. I believe my CorelDRAW users are here, right? So the black part removes the background or transparent the background, while the white actually reveals it. So if you want to transparent a part or maybe clean a part of a background, you shift the transparency to in a way that the black is on where you want to clean. So that also happens here in Photoshop, right? In Photoshop, it is not called transparency, it is called layer mask, right? So this layer mask here works also with the black and the white color, but there is a way it is being done. Now, I know that this video will solve a lot of your problems. Like I said, if you want to transit into a new software, just gather all your Photoshop, all your CorelDRAW designs, and then try to replicate them. So sorry, I'm just bringing all this into the screen. I'm using two screens, so I'm just dragging them so that you won't miss out on anything I'm doing, right? So I think I can as well just place this guy inside here. Good. So this is the way it works. This is the tool here. It's called the layer mask, add layer mask. Now, as I've added layer mask, you can see a white canvas or like a whiteboard close to this. So this is where you will get to clean. So currently, this layer mask is added to this white rectangle, right? Let me rename this to white rectangle. I believe we all know how to rename layers, white rectangle. Now, the next thing we need to do here, we need to make sure that our selection is on the layer mask, not on the rectangle. Selection must be on the layer mask. That's one thing you need to ensure. Secondly, you need to make sure that you have black here on, on top here, which is like the foreground, right? So in this case, you can choose to switch from black and white. And the shortcut to switch is X. You can just tap your X to switch, right? You can also use this angle here, this arrow here, to shift, right? To switch in between black and white. Then the next thing to do is to go to your brush, right? Your brush tool. So the shortcut is B. This is your brush tool here. The first one, which is your brush tool B, and you can see that my brush is out. Now, in order to control the brush, all you need to do is to come here where you have 800. Currently, this brush size is 800 pixels. So you click on this drop down here and you work on this size. You see, as I'm increasing it, you reducing it, you can see the size is changing. And one thing you must make sure that this hardness here is on 0. So I would actually brush this rectangle now and of course make some changes here so we get to see, right? So you make sure that first of all you select this layer mask, ensure that your color, your foreground color is black. You ensure that you select your brush, and you also ensure that the hardness is on 0. So let me clean. You see now, you are beginning to clean the parts of this rectangle. Now, the good thing here is you can see anything you clean, you have the sample. This represents what you've cleaned from the rectangle, right? So the more you increase your brush, remember we talked about increasing your brush with the arrow key, with the bracket key. You can increase your brush with the bracket key, right? So the more you increase your brush, the more you can actually clean. Then there's this part in CorelDRAW too. You have like a slider where you can give it feather. You can have it instead of just having a sharp cut, it will have like a faded edge. Now you're going to understand that, so there's no point to suffer much. So the bigger your brush, of course, bigger the more you can actually transparent or clean something. I'm actually using transparent because I know we have a lot of CorelDRAW users. Now you can see I've been able to clean this. Now one beautiful thing using Photoshop is you can actually change the way it works. Now I can come here and change it to white. Once it's on white, I'm simply revealing it back. So it's not lost. I'm simply revealing it back. Now, this is where this is a lot easier. You know, that's why I prefer this to CorelDRAW. For CorelDRAW, if you want to use transparent, for instance, you want to transparent this part, you have to transparent this part first of all, bitmap it, transparent this part, bitmap it, and you just be bitmapping until you want to achieve something that you want to achieve. Right. But in this case, you can choose to just, so long it's on black, you can choose to clean on the background. So I want to shift it to white. Remember, X is a short key, and I'm revealing it. So let's say we take it back to black. Now, always ensure that your opacity here is 100 and your flow here is 100. So if I take my opacity to maybe 45, you can see I'm actually cleaning, but you see it's not giving me that. Of course, it's giving me some airlines and some soft edges, which is all okay. But you see, I'm doing so much just to remove this line just because it's on 48. Same thing goes to flow, right? So ensure that you on your opacity you always have 100, and also your flow you always have 100. So let's say peradventure you don't like this layer marks and all, you can actually deassociate this layer marks from your rectangle because you have a link here. So let me click on this. Right? Once you click on it, you deassociated the layer marks from this, but that might not really be very might not be maybe on an advantage part for you. What I want to say is you can actually delete this layer marks, right? So you can actually delete this layer marks by just dragging the waste bin, right? And the good thing is, okay, sorry, let me drag this. Sorry, I'm using my double screen. So you can just click on delete, right? Once you click on delete, you see that the layer marks is gone. So let me go back. You can actually move the layer marks to this other um, rectangle. So you might just choose I want to make this kind of shade, maybe I want to make it this way, and choose to replicate it, right? It works that way. Are we there? Are we there? Hello?
Yeah, we are there.
Okay, good. So you can choose to. So now this explains a lot. Like so this is the way I use it most times. So this is majorly what you use to blend background. So now this is a design hack. Let's say you want to blend a background, and maybe you are working for a brand, and the brand company is blue, right? Let's just say the brand company is blue. Now it would be safe as a designer that any background you are looking for, especially on Pinterest, you should be looking around blue background. So it is easy to blend blue backgrounds. It is easier to blend the same color of background, especially when you're trying to achieve a brand color. I don't know if you got that. So let me just go to Pinterest, right, and just do something small. So let me just say background, or I can be more specific to say blue background. So I can see this blue background here, which is nice. So I'm just going to download. Let me see if I can download this. Just download this. I like this background. This is really nice. Let me remove this guy. Let me save and also get this guy here. Let me move this one here. Just right click and save. So you are working on a brand that their color is red. You can actually look for red background. You can, just make your blending easier. So this is my Photoshop. I will just I want to drag everything that I've just done inside. Now, I'm not saying that other colors would not give you good blends, right? I'm just saying to make life easy, it's good you use colors that are same when you are trying to design. So look at this background. In this case, I will just stretch it. I don't want this. Okay, let's just start by me just filling this background here. I can come to my blending mode, blending tool here, just like we spoke about. These are my blends. I just used to look for something that is unique and nice. So let's say uh, lighter color. Lighter color is okay. Another thing I can do is to come to the opacity and just reduce it. Then I can have my text here. You see, this gives the this instead of just being plain, right? It adds a lot of content to it, which makes it more interesting. So let me click this here and drag down. To eliminate this sharp edge here, all you need to do is to click on your layer marks, right? You make sure that it is black that is selected, right? You click on B on your brush. So in this case, I just want to reduce my brush and I just want to clean through, right? So you see that we've been able to do this blend, right? So let me just go back here and take it to normal and increase the opacity, right? So I'm going back to my B. You can see how easy it is here. So let's say I want to bring in the next background. Let me bring in the next background. This is the next background. Just drag it in. So in this case, since it came out like this, I want to rotate it. I'm holding shift, right, to rotate it, and then I want to drag in up. I just want to eliminate this white edge here. I'll come here, click on my layer marks, make sure it's selected, click on B, make sure black is selected. I can reduce my brush and just choose to blend this. So we can see we have this good blend, right? We understand.
Yes.
So this is the way to blend images. So we can add a lot of images here, and blend them. So let me take this off. Let me bring in another color. So there are various ways. So let me say I want to okay, so let me go here. Let me use this color, take it here. So this let me rotate it and just stretch it to fill my background. So what I'm even interested in is these dots. So let me come here and just try to see if I can blend. This is looking really nice, right? Screen is looking really nice. Then I can just reduce it. So the ideas I try to use opacity is when you are designing, right? It is the content you want to pass, right? It's okay that the environment is able to help the content reach the client. So sometimes you don't need your backgrounds to be very shouty. Some of you will design and your client to say the backgrounds are busy. So the background being busy is you have a lot of things in the background popping out just like this. So you can just do a small effect and and you just use it to be like this. This is still the blue background, right? We can see a lot of content going on inside of that, which is really nice. Right. So another way, this is just a hack for today's class. Another way to go about this is you can always come to this um adjustment layer here and always um, change this to black and white. For CorelDRAW designers, they also understand there are some effects you want to use, some background you want to use. In order to see the beauty, you just make that background black and white. But in this case, we have this black and white here, black and white adjustment layer. The black and white is affecting every other layer we have here. So the next thing you want to do is to clip max the black and white layer just to this guy here, right? To this guy here. So you can see how now this doesn't really give us something good, but this is a little cooler than just having this, right? It's a little cooler. So when it's black and white, then you can now come to that image, then do a lot of adjustment you want to do. It is really nice. You look for something that you feel you can work with, then you are good to go. So this is just a hack on how to go about this. Is that okay? Any question before we go to the next one?
No, n- no
Okay,
question.
so let me just delete this layer. Now this is just like principles that will guide you. But in most cases, just like the same way I'm able to look for a good blending mode here, right? And reduce the opacity, I might not need to make it black and white. So sometimes you are trying to blend the background and you are not feeling it yet, or you are feeling that the background is not well blended. Then this is where you now get to add this other tip. Okay, should I make it black and white to see if it blends? So in most cases, if you make it black and white, you just find out that it blends. So the next thing I want to do here is to talk to you about smart objects. So smart objects do a lot of things. What we'll be focusing on is the fact that they help you preserve your objects in the designing. So let me first illustrate with this. I'm going to draw two boxes. I'm going to draw two boxes. So I'm going to rasterize these boxes. In CorelDRAW, I think you have to convert them to smart objects. So I'm going to right click here. Before I right click, let me change the color. Let me just give this white and the other one black. So for the white, I'm going to rasterize it as to bitmap it into an image. For this rectangle 2, let me just say rectangle 2 or rectangle 12, I'm going to convert it to a smart object. You use smart object to preserve your image. So let's quickly just zoom. Let me zoom. Okay, so you might not see. Let me use my hand to see. Okay, so this is what I'll do. In this case, we might not be able to see what I want to show us, but I'm going to pick these two images. I would Control T and I will reduce them, right? Reduce them, and after reduction, I want to zoom. So are you seeing what is going on here? You look at the white, right? You see that this white is becoming pixelated. It's actually losing its quality already. And you see that this black here, which is the rectangle 12, that is our smart object, still retains the quality. So smart object helps you to retain the quality of your image or whatsoever you bring in. That is why anytime you bring in an image into Photoshop, so this is one flyer I designed. Anytime you bring in an image into Photoshop, let me click on OK. Comes in as a smart object. So the idea is it helps you to preserve the image in case you want to stretch and adjust it. Now, this image is not a very good image. In fact, before I use this image, I had to use this tool. See, this is a design I did today. I had to use this tool. This is before and this is after. So this upscale will just help you upscale your image. So let me come here and bring something good. So let me bring this to here. Let me bring this shape here. Right, this is a very good shape. Click on OK. So we can see that this came in as a smart object, right? Now, if you remember the last class we had, I said before you can make some kind of adjustment into this image, you have to first right click, and rasterize it. And before you can do something like maybe you can cut out a background, right? Because without rasterizing it, you might not be able to cut out the background. So this is what I mean. So let me take it back to a smart object. I'm actually on the object. I'm trying to right click and you can see that I can't do anything. layer, I can't do anything. Why? Because it's still a smart object. So in order to make this work, I have to right click here and rasterize. Rasterize is to make it into a plain or flat image, and you can see I can cut out. Now, the best way to adjust, or the way to adjust a smart object, is to double click on this small window here. So let me double click on this small window here. When I double click on this small window here, it opens the smart object into another layer, right? So this is where we were. Let me go back here. Let me close this, right? Let me go back to our practice. Where are you? So notice this is where we are actually untitled one. That's the name of the file, right? Untitled one. Let me double click here. Once I double click here, it opens this image. Now, this is the name of the image, F0425 and all. So in this case now, I can now choose to work on this. So let me open this. Of course, remember we can't work on a locked background, on a locked background, yes. So I've been able to double click this. I can now use this tool here that is called a Magic Wand tool. So the Magic Wand tool works well with backgrounds that are just with one color, right? It works well with background that are just with one color. Let me Control X, and you can see that I've been able to cut out everything. So how do we make these changes come to our first page? That first page we were working on Untitled, right? You can see that all we are doing here, it is not even affecting this page. So how can we make it come to this page here? Let's go back to it. So being able to cut out the background, all we need to do is to save. So let me save it. Right? It's asking can't save this document because original file is flattened, discard extra data and all. So okay. So hold on, just give me a minute. Let me check something. So let me see if I can save this file. Just hold on. So this is Tuesday. Tuesday, and let me say today's class. There's a reason why I'm showing you this. This is just to prepare you for the class work that we have, right? So I want to close all this. Let me just close all this. Also close this too. Yeah, so we'll do it again. Close. So right here, so I want to double click on this smart object, right? So that it comes here. I want to open I want to unlock this background here and then use my magic wand. So Control X, and I want to save. Control X. So you can't save the file using a smart object will not be updated. You can't save this file using save as. Okay, so let me come here and do save. Can't save this file back to original format. Flatten layers and discard data on choose file to save again. Okay, just hold on. Let me rasterize this and then convert it into a smart object. And then, okay, good. So this is what I just noticed, right? When you bring in a smart object, when you bring in an image, it comes as a smart object. Before you can click into it, you must first rasterize it and convert it into a smart object, right? Before you can click into it. So just double click here. Once you double click, it comes up like this. Now you can see that it just came up without a locked background, right? It shows that we're on the same page. So come here, click here and Control X and save. You can see now it has saved. Let me go back to my class for today. Is it class? This class. Like you can see that it has updated, right? Still retaining the smart object, right? Still retaining the smart object. So we can still go back here. This is the file. We can come to this adjustment layer and say we want to use hue and saturation. And maybe we can just come here and say we want to use here, we want to change the yellow color and we change this yellow to maybe this color, something close to a brand that we want to work for. Let's say this is okay, and we save. Right. So this is saying that we have to do this one step over and over again. So let me go back here. Let me okay. So this is where the confusion is. I think let me delete this one. This was the first one I did. So I think this is the second one, yeah, when we got it right. So let me come here and say hue and saturation. I want to affect the yellow to this and Control X, right? Control X. Let me go back to our today's class. This is today's class. You can see that it is updating, right? So if I want to make any change this element here, I can make the change from this one here, preserving our element here. Do you understand? If you understand, let me know.
Yeah, I
Okay, great.
understand.
So this is
I have a question,
okay.
Mario.
Go on.
So the Control X you've been pressing after you click on the magic one,
Yeah,
is it Control S to
X
save?
is to save. So anything you do here,
So once you click on the magic one, click on the background after rasterizing and converting to a smart object, it takes out the background completely.
now the magic wand actually takes out backgrounds with one color, right? Because of time, we couldn't talk about it in the last class, right? So you can actually use any tool. You can still use this polygonal lasso. You can also use this lasso. You can choose to use any of these, right? But since this background here is just a white background, it was easier for me to just use the magic wand, right, to remove it. The idea is this is what I want to do on this picture, on this background. So once I'm done with it, I must save it in order for it to reflect on the page I'm working. Do you understand? Hello?
Yes, I understand. I
Okay, so
understand.
that's how it works. So let's say we want to do one more change here. Let's say we want to click here and then let's say we want to just change master. Master is every of the colors. So let's change it to this. So in order for this now to update on the main page, you have to come to file and save it, or you press your Control X. So let's come here and do to this class. We can see that it has updated. Is that okay? Any question?
No
Okay, good.
questions.
So for these elements, just like Michael asked, right? You can go to Pinterest. You can go to Pinterest to check for some of these elements. You can also use sites like FreePic. This is a very good site where freepik.com. You have a lot of them where you can get resources to design with. So FreePic is not like the way it used to be now. It's crazy. You can get a lot of things. So let me just type sign in, maybe sign in element. So you see all these resources, you can choose to download them. There's a free part. You can download five free elements every day. So as a thief that we are, some of you can choose to have more than 5 accounts, right? So with 5 accounts, 5 times 5, you can download 25 free elements every day. So currently I'm signed in with one of my email. I can just choose to, okay, see, I like this. So as I like this, I'll just click on what download, right? There's a way you can even go around it where you can just there's a way you can edit it with AI, right? You can also save collection. So you can make life easy for yourself. See, they've even updated the way it is. So you can remove background. So this is not a big deal. So I wouldn't want us to waste our time to remove background here because it's simple. So let me look for something a little bit complex that we might see how they remove background. So anyway, you see this crown here, it shows that this is for those who have subscribed to them. So let me just pick an image, it's a picture. So one good thing here is the quality. The qualities are always sharp. So look at this picture. Let me click on this picture and I want to remove background. So automatically it will use AI to remove background. But I think this future you can only have one of these in a day. So you see, it has removed your background, clean, and then you can download PNG. So once you download PNG, it comes into your system just like Come and Eat Rice. You can see it here. Let me click this here, and then this is my picture here. I just drag it into Photoshop. Simple, clean, right? Did you get that?
Yeah,
So
we
so
did.
another
Yeah.
another space where you can get something good. Now this place is very good. I tend to use Pinterest a lot. My problem with Pinterest, sometimes they give you very low quality images, so you can just play around. Let's say, and one thing about when you are searching for stuff, right? You can just use your discretion and you're able to find your way around. So let's say I'm looking for maybe under background. Maybe I can't really explain what I want. You can just choose under background and keep searching. You can see this image. This was the image I used for this. There's a design I did. You can see different kinds of design. So this might be something like what you are looking for. All you need to do is to click on it, and as you click on it, you start seeing similar backgrounds like that. So before you know it, you might be very lucky to even get what you're looking for. So see, this is where it has brought us, and before you know it, you're seeing a lot of things. These are underlay, overlay backgrounds, right? That you can use for your design. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So now this also talks about getting inspiration, right? You can actually get inspiration from Pinterest. You know, you can get your inspirations from Pinterest. Let's say somebody tells you, "I want you to design a flyer, a church flyer, and the title of the church flyer is Holy Ghost." So you do Holy Ghost church flyer design, click on it. And when you are stealing design, please, what you are stealing is the concept, is the idea. You are looking at, okay, look at this design now. Look at how they did it. The Holy Ghost, they brought, this is a very, I'm sorry, who designed something like this, please? Why would you take away the T? The T is totally off. It doesn't really make sense, right? It doesn't make sense.
Holy Host.
Holy Ghost. Anyway, you would understand this Holy Ghost, right? You understand this Holy Ghost. But come on, when you are designing, you are also designing for designers too, because people get to see your designs and I want to critique your design. So I don't know if this person might get to stumble on this video, but try anyways. So what you're looking at is looking at the concept. Oh, in this one, they broke Holy Ghost into two. This lady's picture is here. Now, this lady's name is totally lost. I don't know if we need to use glasses, which is a problem in designing. Okay, Holy Ghost can be here. Oh, look at the way they wrote present. Look at the way they did the church name. Look at mostly you're looking at the position, you're looking at the font. Oh, this is the kind of font that that you can use for your design. Oh, prayer union service. Oh, I like this font. Now, in order not to replicate people's designs, it's just good you get the idea of how they place it. Oh, I need to get a picture of a lady, standing. Or if it's the pastor, I need to tell my pastor to snap a picture like this so that I can achieve this. So it's just mainly idea. You're looking, maybe you are that type, you're in a prophetic church where you have 10 ministers in one program. So you can actually search for pictures too, pictures around programs where you have a lot of ministers. Look at this one now. Look at this one, right? Everybody wants to minister here. You can see morning devotion. You can make it like this. Okay, look at the way they wrote their names. Wrote their names so that, because the way it is being arranged, right? There's no way you can write their names on the picture. So what they did is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? But there are a lot of inconsistencies here. So what other designers do is, in cases like this, right? They would number this design. This first part here will have number 1. This one will have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then every of their names should now be here. So you can easily trace their name to this. So these are just ideas. Look at this rebate. Nice. You see, so when you are trying to generate ideas, you are actually looking for the font, the position, and maybe the colors, right? That is what you should be looking at. Not just to totally bring in someone's design, that does not show creativity. Though at this level, you can be picking designs and trying to replicate them. That's why I send assignment. So in trying to replicate them, before you know it, your mind and all will begin to expand, and that is where creativity comes out from. Is that okay? Okay,
Yeah.
good. So lastly, I'll be showing you how to export, right? In Photoshop. There are various ways to export, but I'll just do the easy one so that life can be easy. So you can come to File and come to Save As. And when you come to Save As, you have, of course, where you want to save your picture, and then you click down here, and then you have JPEG. This first JPEG here, people use this one, but this is what I use. This first JPEG here. You can also use PNG, right? PNG. So let's say you are designing for a video, because I also do video editing. And most times I use some of my design assets for my video editing. In fact, as a video editor, you need to at least have an idea of how graphic design works. So this picture here, right? Let's say I want to get this picture, just the background with the transparent background. Now, PNG means portable network graphics. It helps you to save images without the background, right? So what I can do here is to come to this picture and just right click. Once I right click, I would look for export as PNG, right? Export as PNG. You can also export as, but in this case, you just want to export only this image, this man on camera. Once you click on it, of course, your folder that you might want to export it comes up. You have it here. So let me just say Sam. The name is Sam, and click on OK. I think I have my asset here. So let me look for it. Tuesday class, and this is it here. So you can choose to, after designing, you can choose to export individual content of individual content in your layers, right? So you can even choose to merge two together. So sometimes when I do video, before I do the video, there's already a flyer that I might want to project on the video. So I'll just create everything, create everything. Let me see if I have something like that. This is not a video class, so let me not bore you with that. I just create everything here, then I begin to export one after the other. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah.
So let's go to our class assignment, right? This is a real estate flyer, and what I did here, I just used a lot of assets, and I was able to achieve what I achieved. So the first thing I needed to do here was to get pictures. I got the picture of the cloud. Then this is like a splash. So even though if you don't understand the name, you can go to Pinterest and say um, splash, splash, maybe it's splash PNG.
Minimalist
Okay, good.
splash.
So you can also add that to minimalist splash. So now you might be lucky or unlucky, depends on how your search is. So the idea is to look for something close to what you want. This particular splash, I think I got it from a birthday flyer, right? So on this free pick here, you can actually get flyer templates too. So let's type um birthday birthday flyer. So you can actually download all this. You can download templates. So most of the time those they use some elements like what I used on this design for birthday, maybe happy birthday, and also it's like we're not doing well in this search. So let me just go back and search for that. Now I might not waste so much time here. Like I said, this slide is like 2 3 years ago, so I can't really remember how I got it. I'm sure I got it from Tripic here. Let me try to flash it. So definitely I got it from here, right? So if we are lucky, we might be able to see that kind of splash. Yeah, so next page, or so you can take out time to look for it. but this is where I got it from, right? This is where I got it from. Something in me is telling me I'm close, but I'm looking at time also. Let's see if I can narrow my vector splash. So let me try vector line splash. So that's in my head, right? Okay, okay. So now we can see how this works. Now, if I'm patient enough, definitely I would get something like that. So that is what it is called. Anyways, that's what it is called. You see, I'm still searching. I think it's around this side. We can be lucky to get something like that here. That's just how I looked for it, and I was able to get it. So let me go back to Photoshop, and this is what it is. So let me right click and just select it. This is called a vector. So look at the splash here, right? And this is called a ribbon, right? It's called a ribbon. You can also get it from Pinterest. Now here I got this image, this building here, and I also got this earth image. So I think I have this image here. This is the image here, right? So what I did was I cut this image out. So let me hide this earth image. I cut this image out, and in order to cut this image out is not a big deal. So what I might do, I might choose to use a quick selection, right? So let me increase the brush. Remember, you can come here and increase the brush, or you can use your um your bracket key, left, right. So now, who can tell me? Please unmute your mics. I'm trying to select this image, but it's like it's bouncing back. It's not selecting. Who can tell me why?
You have to, if it's a smart object, you have to rasterize it, then change it back to a smart object to actually pick
Okay,
it.
so that works. I want you to look at my layer.
I think it's because
Yeah,
you
you are
have
not
colors.
selecting the
Thank you.
layer.
So the question is, I'm trying to click this, right? And it's not, it is bouncing back. It's not clicking. It's not allowing me select it. Now, the reason is because look at where I'm selected. I just selected the earth layer, right? So I'm supposed to select this layer 0, which is the actual image, in order to have this selection. So you see in this case now, my smart object is not this, my quick selection tool is not doing justice. It could be maybe because of the selection is too big, so I can reduce it. You see, it's not actually giving me what I want. Why? Because we have similar colors. So if you want to remove this matching ant here, you can press Ctrl D or come to select and then look for this no, select, yeah. Yeah, no, that's not it. Sorry. I think that is it. Oh, that is it. Let me click this, select, you come to select layer. Oh, sorry, look at it here. Deselect, right? Deselect, and the shortcut is Ctrl D. You can see this is not working, right? It's not working. Another tool I can try is, let me try the magic wand. Let me see if this will work. Okay, magic wand is able to select the houses away. So what I can do here is I can hold my shift and keep adding selection. Like that is one way. Now the reason why I'm selecting this house is, of course, people won't pay much attention to the house, right? People won't pay much attention to the house, so I can afford to have rough edges. This is okay. I can just cut, yeah, and click on this part and just cut. But you see, it's affecting my house. You see, that is why at the end of the day, right? I said, you see this your polygonal tool here, right? This is your go-to guard anytime, right? Because sometimes you try to use these sharp tools and you're not able to get good cuts. Now, another one I want to try is the select. I'll try select object. So let's see if this will work. Good. Select object actually did a good job, but you see that it didn't add this house to it. I can now choose to use my polygonal tool, and I should make sure that it's on plus, right? Plus, and then I can add all these other places. I don't need this human beings here. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, I've been able to add that. Last, guys, your polygonal tool is your main guy, right? It's your main guy. What you need to do is to zoom in and you have perfect cuts. Now, cuts like this are not even difficult. You just maintain straight lines and you are able to do that. I understand it is tiring and we all want it sharp. But trust me, in order to have good cuts, polygonal lasso tool or your pen tool is your main guy. You can see this is so easy because we just have few shapes. So I can go on and on like this. I'm holding my space bar to bring in my hand tool in order to move like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, and like that. So see how easy this is. So remember I said we should always cut in bits, right? Sometimes I'm tempted because of course maybe because of my system configuration, before my system hangs, it takes a while before it hangs, right? So I'm a little confident. So let's say I wasn't confident, I would have my cut in bits. So let me say I'm done with this, and then you see I did an error here, right? In order to fix this error, make sure it's selected here. I can click on plus on plus here, and let's see if I'm able to get this. I just hope I won't have to minus selection rather. You see, in this case now, all I needed to do was to minus selection. Yeah, since I already have the selection. So I just come here and double click. Let's see. So you see I have something good there. That's it. I have that. So I'm not going to stress you, but this was how I was able to cut this background. Yeah. So this was how I was able to cut this background. So let's just try this design out. So I'll go to my file. This is A5. So I'll go to my file here and so I'll name this class assignment print A5. I always work with inches, the orientation I want it. So Michael, that board you spoke about is here, but a lot of talks around it. So great, I have that. So the first thing I want to do here, okay. I'm sure you saw this, right? Look at this here. Like I did like a label, right, for the product, right? If we have time, I might get to talk about it. So the first thing here is I uh, class assignment. I'll just go on Pinterest, and the first thing I want to look for is a sky background. Okay, I think this is the browser I'm using here. Pinterest, I want to look for sky background. So it depends on the sky you want. You can choose to use any sky, but for me, let's see. Let me use this one. Right click it, save as. It goes into my download folder. Yeah, download, and I'm good to go. So come to Photoshop, I can click on file, come to place embedded if I don't want to drag it in, and then download, and this is it. I click on place, right? It's coming. You can see it's small, so I'll stretch it to feel where I want to feel, and I feel I'm okay. So maybe I would just want to move it a little bit forward. This is my move tool, or my pick tool. The shortcut is V. Move it here. I want it to be faded to a point. I want it to be faded. So what I can do is I can give this a layer mask, right? Make sure this is selected. Make sure black is selected, and click on my B, which is my brush tool. I want to increase it a little bit because I just want the edges to be faded. I'm not pouncing on it like this. No, I actually clean just little by little, little by little. You see, it's like I want the airline of my brush to just touch the image. So I'm not just pouncing on it. Then I'll come to my opacity and reduce my opacity. Yeah, come to my opacity, reduce my opacity. Let me drag it a little bit. At least let it give us that effect that we have a sky. I am sure that the sky I used for this design is different from the one I'm using here. Yes, it is. It is, right, but we are still good to go. So the next thing I did here was to use this rectangle. This is a rectangle. Let me come here. Cut assignment. Yeah, this is a rectangle. Let me paste the rectangle here. So this is the rectangle I used. So what I did was I just came here. I drew a rectangle. Now, please mind you, anytime you want to draw a rectangle, right, make sure that you are not selecting a rectangle here. So this is what I mean. Let me draw this rectangle here. Okay. In this case, it even worked well. But in most cases, once you are selecting a rectangle and you draw another rectangle, this other rectangle will attach itself to this rectangle, which makes the two of them difficult to separate. So in order to play safe, sometimes if I want to draw a rectangle, I will select something that is not a shape, something that is not a shape at all, and draw my rectangle in order not to have it together, right? So we all know how to achieve this rectangle. Now, for this rectangle, I just needed the edges of the upper part to be cornered, right? Because the other part there was hidden. I just came here, made sure that this place here is unlinked. I think I gave it 30. Yeah, no, it's more than 30. 60. Yeah, maybe 60 is too small. Let's say 100. And I came here to give it 100. Good. Then for this color, I used um I used a gradient, right? For the gradient here, I used two colors. I used a green and a dark green. So let me select this green here, and here, let me select this other dark green. So let me select the same green. In this case, I want to move it back. Yeah, we're good. But in this case, so let me click on OK. Let me see my green. Okay. Who can tell me what the problem is here?
Would you don't have the
Didn't
rectangle?
select the
It's
rectangle.
not
I selected this
really
sample here, so I'm supposed to
selected.
select this rectangle. Now these are cases that you always encounter, right? So it's normal, right? It's normal. Even as a professional designer, you get to encounter this. Now, instead of coming here to start choosing colors, I can select on a particular shape or maybe objects, and let's say I want to collect this effect, right? Let's say I don't want to do it manually. I can right click here and say copy layer style. Come to this one I want to paste it on, right click and say paste layer style. It's that easy. So this is the gradient here. Let me open it. Sorry, I have to drag it from my other screen here so you see it. So this is the gradient here, right? Let me open it to see. This was how I did the gradient. Dark green, a little light green, then this. So why did I do that? I just wanted an idea where it looks as if there's a movement, dark color in, right? So let me take this off. I don't need this again because this is what I want to achieve. So let me come here. I think we have our Earth image. Now for that Earth image, oh, where are you? Where are you? I think this is it. No, sorry. So even before, okay, I'm not sure I have that. Let's just remind me to show you. I'm not sure I have that. This class, this. Let me just close this, guys. It's easy to it's easy to locate your files when you name them, right? You won't be going through. I just hope I've not closed it. I just hope I've not closed it. It's like I've closed it. Oh, anyway, okay. It's like I've closed it. I actually saved this image and I'm sure I've not closed it. Let's try this. Wow, it's like I've closed it. So I think I was able to download that Earth image. Let me see. So this is the Earth image that I used here. So let me just open it here. Sorry. Could not place Storm. Okay. So this is telling us that that image is bad. Like I said, this is a very old design. So I've forgotten how I even got the image. But let me, good. This is the Earth image here, right? This is it here. So long as on smart object, I can choose to um, adjust it. Now, I'm going to go back to this image to show you how I was able to cut it out. So class, Control V, just want it here and like this. So let me go back to this image. Now you can see already I had a sky. This image is a bad image. That is why it's showing like this. Let me see. Can you see this image here? Already I
Yeah.
had a sky, right? I think it should be here. Where is this browser? So there's this browser called Yandex. Yandex. Let me see if I can move it. So let me try Google. I will use Google first to see. Sometimes when you try to download something from Google, it doesn't give you a good quality. So, but this Yandex gives better quality. So let me try Google. Let me just show you from Google. So this I want to upload a file. You can actually use an image to search for an image. That's what I want to do here. So this is it here. Come on, show me. There's no time. Okay, so this is the image here, right? The image is bad. So you can see that I just cut this out of the sky here. That's why you have that round cut, right? That's why you have the round cut. So hold on. The next thing here is this house, right? So this is the house, that house I cut out. You can see what I did here. So I'll just copy this house and anytime you see this is because I'm always doing Control C. So sometimes I press the C without the control. So the crop tool comes up. And if the crop tool comes up, you can just click on your pick till it goes out. So I would just want to select this house. You can see this house here, right? So you can see what I did here. I only cut the upper part, but for the down part here, I use this layer mask, right, to clean it up. So let me just come here and increase it, right? So the idea is the building is on top of the earth. That's just the idea, right? That's the idea. So hold on, let me let me look for this. Is Michael still here? I think Michael is no longer here. Good. So what I did was, okay, I brought this guy down, right? I brought him down. I think I also reduced it. Yeah, I reduced it. Then also this my flow, my dark green. Now, when you are designing, right, it's good you always ask yourself real questions. So if this my building is covering this shape and especially covering the fact that I did like a gradient color, then why am I using it? So sometimes when you are done designing, you ask yourself, this thing I'm doing, is it important? So for me now, this my gradient, my shade flow from dark to green, from dark green to light green is actually not showing well. So I will just come to my gradient here and adjust it a little bit. So how do I adjust it? I click on this. This is what I will just adjust here so that I'll have the flow. You can see, right? we have better flow there, and I'll just click on OK. Right. So the next thing I did here is to start just type the name. This is Island Estate, and the font I used here is called Elephant. Let me increase it. So let me use a font. The font here I think is Elephant. Elephant. Right. I think I used all caps. For the first letter is small. So I think I can just type this manually. I N D. Yeah. Then estate. So now we can see that the estate the estate is not the same length with this. So I'm just going to hold left and drag a ruler here. I can do that. I want the E here to fit with the T. So there are two ways I can do, but sometimes just to avoid unnecessary stress, I will cut it out and just retype it again. So I don't always go back here to type text when I have text. I'll just alt duplicate and type. So there are two ways I can do it. I can either choose to increase it in size, Control T to increase in size, yeah, which I think is what I did here. Or you come to your what's it called? This is your tracking, and you track it, right? So let's say I have this in place. So this, anytime you are tracking, right? You see, I think this is a little fair, but some people will want to over track. This doesn't make sense really. Okay, I think this still makes sense because you can still differentiate. This is I, right? So in a situation where you can no longer read your text again, I don't think it's nice to track your text that way. So sometimes it's just good to give it little space for people to be able to read. I think this island is okay here. This is it. It's able to differentiate the I and the land. So let's say we have this and we want to reduce it. In this case here, the next thing here. So this is the flyer. Let me show you the flyer. This is the flyer here. So we have square meter and we have the prices. So I want to draw a rectangle. Yeah, I want to draw a rectangle. So for some people they use line, but you can use a rectangle to achieve that. So the rectangle. Now remember I spoke about always using colors around your environment. I want to color this rectangle. So what I will do here is I'll come to this color, select this green color and just use a lighter shade. It works almost every time, right? It works almost every time when choosing a color, right? So I'll just duplicate it because that's where I want to write the address of the estate. So the address of the estate, I'll come to estate, duplicate it because I don't want to go and type another text. So Kobampe Abeokuta. So for this, because of hierarchy, I might just choose to use another font, maybe a font called Poppins. Yeah, then maybe I'll reduce it. I'll start from 30, right? So yeah, I think I need to reduce it further. So let me reduce it to 20. Okay, so I have this here. I'll just perfectly align it. Yeah, I think I have that. Then the next thing here is let me bring the flyer so we'll see. So we have the address and we have the end of year. We have the address. So for it to contain the address, we need to adjust our rectangle, right? We need to adjust our rectangle more. Then now that I have this island and address, I feel it's okay for me to group them together, right? Because of course the name and the address should be in one group. So I'll just come here, select everything. I'm holding control, right? I'm holding control. I've been able to select this. Let me move it to be sure you can see. Then I'll control V. So I can just name this estate name and location. Estate name and location. right? So I have this, right? I have this. I don't need this ruler again. But some people, they actually place rulers around the edges of their designs, right? Because some printers might be crazy, especially the cutters, right? So some, in order just to avoid stories that touch, I think they place about maybe is if 1 millimeter or so, millimeter or so. For me, I've already learned my lessons. So every of my designs, I give it a lot of spaces, a lot of spaces, a lot of spaces. It's only when you are mad or when you are drunk, that's when you go and cut it. So I don't joke with those spaces when designing. So I have my estate and all, this is good. Then the next thing I need to have my address. So my address, I'll just come here, duplicate this and type suit 71, second floor, Omida shopping complex. Yes, I understand you can't see it, but don't worry, we are good. Plaza Ibara, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Good. So we can see how this text came in, right? So I remember when in the first class I said when you type your text and you see this, the first thing you should do is to come to the canning here, right? Canning and click on this and put it on auto. Once you put it on auto, it will adjust itself to be normal. Then you can now choose to work on the side. So I can just make this 10. Yeah, make it 10. And then so at the end of the day, as designers, try as much as possible to think about shapes when you design. Now, this is a little deep, right? But try as much as possible to think about shapes. So, what do I mean by that? You see the way I was able to align the estate to the island, right? If you can actually draw a box, you can draw a box like this, right? You can have a perfect rectangle, like that. Anytime you are designing, try and imagine shapes. It will help you. Now look at this 27, 20 suits, 71, second floor, Omida and all, right? You can see the way the first letter, right, is longer than the second line, right? I would actually fix it. I can use this my tracking here. Just make it this way. Of course, I won't make it very, very obvious. So sometimes, if you try to track the first one in order just to make a perfect whatsoever line, sometimes it might not work. So sometimes, okay, let me Control Z this and just come here and make the second floor. You see, instead of making it 2 and ND, right, second floor actually closes that gap. It makes it very simple. So on top of this, they have Abeokuta address. I just duplicated my text. Abeokuta address. Yeah. So I think I need to adjust this. So once I pick this, everything goes up because I've been duplicating all this text inside of my group. So adjust this and adjust this. So let me even check our call. Okay. Hello. Who is here?
I'm here, but I'm not seeing your screen
You're not seeing my screen?
at all,
Anyway,
though.
since when?
And I think I'm the only one here. So
Wow. Let me check the.
for like a while, oh, I sent a message and I've just been going out and coming in, thinking that maybe it was from my end for a while. Oh.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking the group to see that it's like I've been the only one here. Chinye, yeah, you see my screen?
No, I just came in now. The network was bad, so I had to cut the call and rejoin.
Oh, that,
The network has been terrible.
wow. So, are you seeing my screen now?
Yeah,
At what
yeah, I
point
can
did you
see.
stop seeing my screen? Maybe I've gone far. I'm even on my way now to Ibadan. Oh my god. Yeah.
So I stopped seeing your screen where you were typing the second address, the suite
Okay.
seven at the
That's
seven.
very fair then. That's very fair. That's very fair. Then okay, so let me continue. So in designing, it's good you understand hierarchy and also contrast, right? So I would not want this Abeokuta to seem like an address, same as the address. So I'll just click on it, come here and just give it a dark color. So this dark color, I can choose it from anywhere around my design, right? Like I said, always work with your environment. There are a lot of dark shades here on this background here, right? So at the end of the day, you can, choose pick colors around your background. It makes life a little easier, and then it just automatically blends your design. So what else? So let's check. Where's the design? Good. So I think I will just bring this design into this page here so that I don't have to always go back here. So let me just drag it into Photoshop. Yeah, I'll just drag it and take it to the top. So what I have here is outright payments. I also have 350,000. Okay, so let's do that. So I have outright payment. I think for this I might just need to pick another text. Yeah, another text. So capital letter outright payment. I'm not sure I got that spelling correct, but let's check it. Make it capital letter, and I want to make it outright payments. Okay, then I need to draw um the box to add the price, right? So here I also used a gradient for this, right? Now, mind you, this company, their what's it called? Their brand color is green, so it's easy to use green for them, right? So I feel that I might need to readjust all this. So let's see. I just selected the text. Remember, I showed you how I do my own selection. I don't always come to the layer here to select because of time. I just select from here. Anytime I'm selecting from here, what I do is I hold shift to select another thing. So I've selected these three like this. Yeah, then maybe I want to select the Earth. I've selected the Earth. So maybe I want to just shift it and Control T. I want to reduce it a little bit so that I can have good space to write the amount. Good. So for this, what I will do here is maybe I'll just come to this color here. Let me shift this link here. Where is that color? This here. I would right click and just say copy layer style. Okay. I would come here and copy layer style. Then come to this my rectangle 12 here. Right click on it and paste layer style. So let's see the color. So this is the color we have. Oh, not you. Let me drag it up. We have lighter, we have this kind of green, then maybe a darker one. So we can achieve that. So I'll just come to this shape here, open my gradient, right? Now the flow of this gradient is not like this one. This one is flowing from down up, but this one is flowing from left to right. So I can just turn this here, at least to have that. Then I know this side here is lighter. The light color is this one here. Then we have a darker color here. So I'll just come to reverse. Once I click on reverse, we can see it swaps. Let me come here, right? I don't need this dark color. This color is too dark. So I'll just select this one, drag it to the edge, right? Just come here and maybe just make it a little darker. A little darker. Right, we can see a little darker, but I think this one here is lighter in a bit, right? So you see now can choose to play with colors around here. So this is the lighter color here. Okay, this is too light. Maybe let me just look for a lighter green. I think I have something good already. You see, for my environment, right? Then I have my price there. So what's the price? Let's see the price: 250k plus 5 kg rice and 2 liters of oil. So zoom, come here. I've duplicated it, but it's showing under my rectangle. So I'll click it and drag it up and say 250k. Right, my 250k will be very bold. 250k, 250k. Click this, come here, bold, right? And then my tracking, I want to tighten it. Yeah, then I have plus 50 kg ground oil, right? Yeah, I might not. Okay, so everything is coming under. So I'll just click on plus groundnut oil, and so I'll just give it space. 1 bag of rice. So I think this is okay, but I'll just work on the canning. The space in between is it's too much. So let me make it 6. 6 is too much. I can make it 7. Then Control T and reduce, right? Reduce. Then I want to make it white. So let me check the design. You see, 5 kg of rice, and I still maintain that perfect rectangle, right? It's always important. There are some cases where you might not be able to do that, but anytime you have the opportunity, you can, always do that. So let's go back to our design class assignment. Okay, we are still on the class assignment. So now, so let's say we didn't get these colors perfectly, right? Instead of stressing our life, right? I can actually get the colors from, this flyer. Let me go back to the rectangle here. Click on gradient. So click on the color. So let me start from this color. I want it to be this color. You can see it I selected. This dark color here, I want it to be this color. And that's all. So instead of killing yourself, let's see. Yeah, we have something good, right? So we can even leave it like this so that we can just see the text in between. So we have 5 kg of rice and 2 liters. You see, in order just to have that perfect what's it called? That perfect shape, right? I started um um shorten using instead of spelling liters, right? Look at how I spelled liter, then G oil. Now, why I use G oil is because on the design itself, you have a G oil, you have a ground oil there, right? It's unless if you are blind, that's when you know that this is not ground oil. These are just hacks, anyways. So then I will just select this. Now, it's important that you always group your job when designing, right? Very, very important. So let me see. Okay, what is remaining here is the rectangle. So let me just select it and say outright, right? I'll increase it a little bit. And the second price, I'll just duplicate it and call it installment. So for installment payment, I'll come here, installment payment, we have that. I think I'll still have to change the font, 350. So pay 35,000. So I'll come here, plus pay 35,000. I don't know. Did you notice that I made 35 a little bold, different from the rest? Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's just to bring about hierarchy. Then I think my plus should come in here, plus 5 kg of rice. So let me remove this plot here, then give it space. Yes. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't make it like this. I don't know why I made the central, the alignment. Yeah. So it was supposed to be like this really. So pay 35,000. Okay. So I'll just select this guy here, and then just come to bold, make it bold. So worst case scenario, you can use a different color. So let's say we've been able to settle these two parts, right? And then what do we have here? I think the next one here is this, which is not a big deal. So let me close this and look at a way to. Oh, okay, okay. So let me just look for a way to get the spaces. So I want to select the estate, everything here. This, select this, and maybe the land. Yeah. Control T, reduce it, because you need white spaces when you are designing, right? White spaces when you are designing. So if I have this good, then for these two, I would also reduce them. Yeah. Any questions so far? Any question?
I want
Yeah.
to add the duplication you always duplicate. Like you have to like press on that alt and just shift
Yes.
your text and it automatically
Yeah.
duplicates, or you still have to
No.
do control
Hold
C.
Alt and just drag. So the idea is this. I want you to pay attention to my mouse cursor, right? Are you paying attention to the mouse cursor? Hello? So once
Yeah,
I
yeah,
press
yeah.
Alt, see that the mouse cursor changes, right? Into two. Are you seeing the mouse cursor now? This is it without
Yeah.
Alt. The normal pick two. So once you press Alt, it changes
Yeah.
into two. Then you now left click and drag.
Mm.
So the first thing you do is to hold on your Alt, right? Then left click and drag. Remember, you first have what you want to duplicate, right? I want to duplicate this house. I can even stay here, hold on my Alt and drag.
Mm.
It's not a must. I must place the Alt on what I want to duplicate. So long the layer is selected. Is that okay?
Okay, good.
So I have this. So the next thing is just for me to pick this. So this is just easy, like I said, right? This is same text. So the heading, let me just copy this and send it here, right? So I would explain how I got this. Like I said, this is this image here is a splash, right? And this is a text. So you can see the text is grouped, right? End of the year promo. So the reason why I use red is so that this promo will pop, right? And if you check very well, you see of the year, right? I got this of the year color around here. So it's always good that as you are designing, you walk around what your environment. There's no point going out of your environment. Because once you use colors around your environment, it helps you to get that blend. At the long run, right, you even find some designers don't use colors per se. So you see on this my design, right? There's nothing like background color, right? I just have white. But this company actually prefers me to design for them using white. Is that okay? Is that okay? Are we there?
Yeah.
Okay. So finally, it's just good.
Yeah, we
Thank
are.
you. Good,
Yeah.
good, good. That's the spirit. So finally, it's just to get this item here. So what I did here was I used a part of the design into now. I'm always very careful when I'm doing gift stuff for people because I don't know if they have a partnership whatsoever with any what's it called with any of these companies. I don't know if they do, or maybe they don't. And if they don't, then you shouldn't be advertising their products for them. So what I do most times when I want to design for gift is I would I would take a snapshot of the flyer. This is the last thing I'm going to explain here before I give room for questions. So this is it here. I'm sure the design looks alike, right? So you see, so this is cleaner, this is cleaner, and we have their estate logo. I'm just going to do this experiment. So this is not my design anyway. So please, oh, this is not my design. Oh, they just called me to help them. There's a mistake somewhere, right? They said there's a mistake there. There's this P here. I'm doing disclaimer now. This P, this R is this it's supposed to be R instead of P. So they've been calling the person who designed it. The person has not been picking. So I just used a rectangle, got the color. I just rotated the rectangle. Yeah. So what I did was I just looked at how this arrow is. Okay. So okay, let me just make it like this. You see, right? Common sense. So let me just remove this here. So let me get a bag of rice. I think I downloaded a bag of rice. Yeah. So let's say this is the bag of rice. Let me open it here. Is that okay? Who is just coming when class has finished? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a bag of rice, and we want to create something like a sticker for this bag of rice. In doing this, we can use drop. You can use smart objects. So let me first create a rectangle. Right. I want that rectangle to follow the pattern that this bag is following. So I'm going to do Control T. Let me do. Should I do distort? Okay, maybe distort. Yeah. So let me just see if I can follow the pattern, at least to make you understand that okay, this is like a sticker on the rice. So let me see. Yeah, I think this is fair, right? This looks like a sticker. So now this is what I do. So I would convert this into a smart object. So watch carefully, right? Convert into a smart object. But before I finish from here, let me come to the class assignment, right? And then I want to take a snapshot of everything I have here because I want to use it for a design. Let me get their logo first of all. New logo, Control C. Come to classwork and paste it here. I have this here. So I want to come to the top of this layer here and hold Shift Control Alt E. It gives me a snapshot of everything here, which I have on
Um.
Shift Control Alt E. It gives me a snapshot. Shift Control Alt E. You press them at the same time. It gives you a snapshot. So I want to copy this. I want to copy it for a reason. So let me go to my bag of rice, right? Now I've converted this into a smart object and I want to click into it, right? Okay, so update is fine. So this is it, right? I want to paste my design there. What I will do is I'll first convert this into a smart object so that it will preserve it, because I want to do a lot of I want to do resizing, right? When you resize, there are tendencies that you lose the quality of whatsoever you're resizing. So I'm doing control and minus. In case if you are surprised about how I do these things, go and start watching from the first video. I actually explained everything here that I'm doing. Control 0 will bring it to fit. So in this case, I might not want to put every every detail, because I just want the part that will show on the rice, right? Of course, there won't be any point to even put the price there when the price is written. I have it like this: Control 0 fit, and I'll do Control X, right? When I do Control X, I'll go back to my bag of rice. Let me look for my bag of rice. You see here, right? Now, I didn't even do it well.
So I've lost sight of your screen. Your screen is no longer showing.
Okay, can you see my screen now? Who can see my screen?
The screen was showing. Maybe
Okay,
it's a
sorry, it's your
network.
network. Yeah. So,
Okay, let me try.
okay, good. So now let me double click here. I will do what I did, Control Z. I'm sorry, Control V to paste that stuff here. But before resizing, I would want to convert it into a smart object and resize it, right? CorelDRAW users will just press, I think they will press P or so, and it will just come to the center of the page here. So I want to resize it. So what I want to show is just the name of the estate. So, okay, then Control X. Control X is to save. So let me go back to my bag of rice. Now you can see it is inside my bag of rice. So there's a way you can also use drop shadows and all. You now start adjusting it in a way. So let me adjust this. Control X. Can go into my bag of rice. Maybe I think I would just make this name fill here. Maybe. So of course, with proper time and all, you can get it. I think this is perfect. Yeah. So Control X. Let me come to my bag of rice. You see? Then with this, I can still further maybe adjust it a little bit, just to achieve that. And I'm supposed to use the stop. Okay. So I think we've come to the end of this class. Yeah. So let me quickly say this. It's easy to follow someone when the person is designing, right? But sometimes the problem comes when you need to think of a design. And in this case, you now start having issues of answering the whys. Why? 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 The why is, why do you need to use this color? Why do I need to use this font? Why do I need to use this concept? Why do I need to place it here? Is usually the problem of a lot of designers, right? We have a lot of people who use CorelDRAW, who use Photoshop, but we have few designers. And the reason is because of the whys. You are not able to answer the whys. So once you are not able to answer the whys, it gets difficult for you. Are we there? Are we there? Are we still there?
Yes, yes, but the voice is cracking. I think the network is really bad
Okay, so
this
I
night.
think I'll just stop sharing my screen to make the network better.
Oh.
Okay, so stop presetting. Yeah, is it better now? Oh, I think you're the only one here.
Yes, I'm
Oh,
the only
network
one
has kicked a
here.
lot of people out. But did you learn anything?
The network is really bad. It's my network has been very, very bad. I've been in and out
Okay,
since.
there's no problem. So I would just save this